called to order. Clerk, can we please have a reading of the open public notice, please?
Adequate notice of this meeting was given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act by mailing the schedule of the Township Committee to the Express Times and North Star Ledger newspaper, posting a copy on the Township Bulletin Board, and filing a copy with the Township Clerk.
Please join for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I'm sure many of you have seen in the paper the loss of Township Clerk and Administrator Michelle Bergolo. I did not have the pleasure of meeting Michelle, but I would ask that we have a moment of silence. Thank you. Officially not on the menu, but of...
Did you say the menu?
Yes.
Did I say the menu? And I actually had dinner tonight, so I can't explain that. Normally, it would be a legitimate Freudian slip.
I was just going to let it go.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, as an Italian, food is always on my mind, so I don't know what to say. But I would just like to remind those in attendance that the Stewartsville Middle School is having a very important play, Fiddler on the Roof. Very important because my daughter is the fiddler. And it's about a disclaimer. And the shows are tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and then there is a 2 p.m. matinee on Saturday and a 7 o'clock Saturday night. So encourage you all to come. I did sneak in yesterday, and I saw the dress rehearsal, and they really do an amazing job. And I'll tell you, the sets, and the parents put together these sets, you think it's from Broadway. I mean, it's really, really impressive, the work that they did. So
isn't there one at 2 tomorrow?
please come out. There's if there is,
Tomorrow
it's
at
only
2 also?
at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
7 o'clock on Friday and
No?
2 and 7 on
7 on
Saturday.
Friday.
Mayor, may I recommend a roll call?
Oh my goodness!
2 on Saturday.
I guess we can do a roll call. Thank you very much. I was worried about the menu.
Perez, absent. Siegel,
Here.
Emiliani, here. Polari, absent. Torriello.
Present, of course, because I've been speaking for the last 5 minutes. And I guess with that, is there a motion to open up for public comment for agenda items?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone wishing to make public comment on the agenda items, please step up and state your name. Seeing no hands, is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the monthly reports for court and police?
Make the motion. Second.
Roll call?
Siegel,
Yes.
Emiliani,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Motion to approve actually before we even make a motion to approve, I'd like to amend or correct the minutes if I can. Let me see, can page 3, under asphalt plant update, I think it should read, the Attorney General has the right to review the record within 30 days. And following that, it's anticipated that the court will issue a scheduling order. And then I would delete 5 to 6 weeks briefs to be filed. The scheduling order would dictate when briefs are to be filed. So I would ask, is there any other comments on the agenda? With that amendment, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make the motion. Second.
Roll call?
Siegel,
Yes.
Emiliani,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Is there a motion for payment of bills and claims?
I'll make that motion with the exception. Supplemental.
I'll second that.
Vote what bill is that? What do we?
$715 bill of Suffolk Clooney for work done by Donna McCormick and for work in November and December. So that should not be part of this year's budget. And a 4-hour at $85 an hour for work that was done on December 1st.
So we're not paying a bill?
Well, it shouldn't come from this year's budget. If there's funds from last year.
Is there funds for that? Yeah, what that is it's preliminary work for 2012. They were getting a file set up for 2012, so ordinarily would be paid out of the 2012 budget.
No, so it's not just, I see, no. I wouldn't authorize that.
You say you would not?
No, I would not agree to authorize that. Preliminary work for 2012, they weren't appointed for 2012. So.
But the work is done in November, December?
For the following year. They weren't the auditors for this year. I don't think that's appropriate. I second payment of bills with that one removed.
You have a motion, a second. You can have further discussion.
Any further comment? Roll call.
Siegel,
I'm going to abstain.
Miliani,
Wait. What's the basis for abstention? Is there a conflict?
Yeah, I'm wondering why we're not paying a bill for work that was done in 2011.
I don't think that's a reason to abstain. You could vote no.
Well, I'll vote no.
Okay.
No.
yes.
Wait, we haven't taken, no, not yet. We have to finish the vote.
The roll
The
call.
roll call.
Miliani, yes. Torriello.
Yes.
Okay, motion is passed.
Motion's passed. Go ahead.
Just one question. Will someone contact the former auditor and let them know that they were?
You want to?
We'll reach out again. Provide a more detailed bill.
I will.
It's not really.
I will send them a letter. Do I need authorization for that?
Well, I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be better procedure for Lorraine to contact
Sure.
them rather than a letter from the mayor?
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. You want to contact
Should
them?
let them know that that invoice will not be paid.
Okay.
Lorraine, how much was that bill for? $715. $715.
I'm wondering if, oh, so you have the bill over there.
It's right here.
I'm not even sure I should be signing bills then if I voted no. I've already signed some. Does it make a difference, Brent?
Well, you voted no on the payment of all the bills with the motion was to pay all the bills with the exception of
Right.
that.
Okay.
So you voted no for the payment of all bills.
How about, so since that carried, we'll,
How many signatures do you need on the payment of bills?
Correct.
You need 3 signatures?
Yes, you do.
And the interesting thing, the contract that's attached to this invoice has my signature on the contract for 2011. And it talks about work performed in 2011.
Actually, your motion was to make payment of all bills with the exception of that bill. You haven't actually voted whether to pay that bill or not.
Right. She said no.
so what's your basis for denying the payment of all other
Maybe,
bills?
maybe you want to make a motion for reconsideration, because what you're voting on is the payment of all bills other than that bill. And then there should be a separate motion as to whether or not to pay that bill.
Well, I guess there's a little bit of the discrepancy I have. I don't get to see the rest of these bills, right? So this one's being held out because it's bill, I mean, have we ever had other bills that we paid in 2012 that were 2011 bills? Right, I mean, you must have.
Yes.
So we're,
It's not a calendar issue. They were billing for work, for preparation of doing work for 2012. They were not retained as an auditor for 2012.
well, what,
They were putting the proverbial cart before the horse and assuming they would be appointed. Turns out they were not. So they, in my opinion, we have a fiduciary obligation to the taxpayer, and we ought not be paying an auditor who we did not retain for
So-
work that we don't get the benefit for.
so let me ask a question of Lorraine. Lorraine, is it unusual for the auditor to start work in 2011 for 2012?
No.
So it's a normal practice?
Yes. I would almost say that it were necessary because the annual financial statement has a
a specific due date, but that statement has a due date.
Okay,
And they're all already in here.
I'll ask one more question then. I'm going to ask, did they send us any work that they've done from the December and that November billing?
No, I don't remember the exact detail on the bill, but I think it was for them turning their files over to open up for 2000. I don't think that it was an actual substantial.
Yeah, I can tell you we're not paying for that. That's actually inappropriate, in my opinion, to have to be charged to turn over our files. That's a little bit outrageous, but in any event. So we can either not pay any bills because of Committee Woman Siegel's vote, or we can separate it and
Well,
do another
Let's
vote.
separate it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Can we make a motion?
So I'll make a motion to set.
We have this motion. Can we make a motion to rescind this motion?
Yeah, what?
And start over?
Yes, why don't you do that? Why don't you
I'll
it-
make a motion to rescind the prior motion and vote.
Yeah.
Start over.
Okay. It's a motion to
second.
rescind the prior motion
Right.
for the payment of bills with the exception of the bill for supply
Well,
cleaning.
that's what I said initially, with the
I
exception
understand.
of.
No,
Just
we're rescinding that.
Rescinding it. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
she said with the exception.
I made the motion.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay.
And
Discussion.
Comment. Roll call.
Siegel? Yes. Miliani? Yes. Toriello?
Yes. Now, I will make a motion to pay all bills with the exception of Suffolk County.
Okay, that's correct. Is there a second?
What is this? The
You
second
just,
statement?
it's fine. It's-
Okay,
Is there a second?
with the exception of simply putting things right, yes.
Okay.
Comment. Roll
Elaine
call.
seconded, yes. She said yes. That's her motion.
Roll call.
Okay, Siegel?
Yes.
Yes.
Miliani? Toriello?
Yes.
If you go back and listen,
Okay.
that's exactly what
I
he said.
I understand. Now you need a third motion. Motion to,
I don't,
oh, okay. You have a Supply Clooney bill. One can move to pay the bill, move not to pay the bill, or do nothing.
Well, I guess my question is, are we going to get into a legal battle over $715? If we're willing to do that, we heard the CFO say that it's not uncommon for them to do work pre the new year.
you also heard the CFO say we received no work product for that bill, to be clear.
That's fine. I mean, you guys have the majority vote, so everyone.
All right, if there's no more motions, I'd like to move on to resolutions. And this one, is this the one that was, no. We're gonna add this one now, because it's not on the agenda, Kim.
46.
The 46 is not listed on the agenda, but I should address this now.
Yes.
This was the one that was tabled
For
at
last
the
one.
last meeting, okay. The last meeting, we had tabled a resolution, 2012-46, to refund unused escrow monies, and at that time, I believe we tabled it to give Lorraine additional time to check and make sure that these escrows can and should be refunded. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you have undertaken whatever level of review you needed to ensure that the monies that are listed here should be returned to the, I don't know if I should use the word applicant or, is applicant
Yes,
accurate?
that's accurate.
Okay.
All listed with the exception of 3 that Engineer Finelli gave me.
Okay, and this is part of your ongoing efforts to clean up the more than 100 escrow accounts that are in our system. So you're going through them and seeing what's old, what can be returned and closed as part of your cleaning up effort. Okay. So with that understanding, can I have a motion to regarding resolution 2012-46?
I'll make a motion.
Would that include removing 3 of the accounts listed?
Okay, there are, so we need to amend this. I'm sorry, I did not hear that part.
Yeah.
Which 3 need to be
On the
removed?
second page,
Yes.
O'Dowd,
Okay,
$2,172.75. Polaris Warren, and Lowe's Home Improvement.
Does anybody want an explanation as to why I've recommended them to come off this resolution? Okay.
No.
Fine.
No.
Lowe's, O'Dowd, and what's the third one?
Polaris
Polaris.
Warren. Between
Okay, I see it. Huh. The expensive ones. Okay, so.
It's just coincidence.
So if I can then restate that, is there a motion to adopt resolution 2012-46 as amended to exclude a refund to ODOT, Polaris Warren, and Lowe's Home Improvement?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Siegel,
Yes.
Miliani,
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. Now, this is resolution 2012-53, which is a cancellation of general capital balances. And this is because there are monies that remain in the budget appropriation dedicated to projects that are completed. Is there a motion?
I have one question, Randy. Is this the one where we were talking about possibility of the air conditioning being fixed in this room? To
No.
draw down from?
No, this doesn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, I'll second that.
Well,
Make the motion.
is there a second?
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Siegel,
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes. And now, resolution 2012-54, municipal tax lien redemption. This is a motion to redeem the sum of $1,505.34, right? On block 2318, lot 14.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call.
Siegel,
Yes.
Miliani. Torriello.
Yes. That brings us to the municipal budget discussion. Is this our third meeting on this?
Yes.
Third meeting on this. And I'm going to turn it over to Elaine and Lorraine to bring us up to date following last meeting's discussion.
We did a lot of research, or at least Rain did. We also identified, today identified a lot of the legal, or a number of legal issues that we had to split down, which we're going to have to talk to Brent later, so that we can categorize them appropriately, make sure they're coming out of the right funding source. And Lorraine, why don't you take it from there, and we can identify the line items that we've changed.
Okay. I did this afternoon a 2012 budget evolution. The mayor thought that would be a good foray into our current state. The biggest and most exciting news. Do you want to announce?
No, I think you deserve the honors.
There's a decrease in the municipal tax levy. It's not a huge one. It's only $1,900. But still, there's a decrease, so that's pretty exciting. In February, while I was still trying to learn how to spell Greenwich, I entered all of the prior information from the prior years into a municipal worksheet that I use for budget preparation. That took me through the whole entire month of February. I think in March, we started out looking at the budget with the Budget Committee, Finance Committee. And we had a 7.64 cent increase. That was about $458,000. That was an increase of about 17.42%. I made a huge error in our initial meeting by not including the emergency from 2011. It was a $100,000 emergency, and the legal ramification is that it has to be raised in its entirety in the 2012 budget. I did not include that in our initial calculation, so what we really started out with a $558,000, what some people call budget gap, but that would have resulted in an increase in the municipal tax levy. That would have been about a 9.3 cent increase. or a 21.22% increase. In April, the Finance Committee got together. We had our first really exciting budget meeting, and a bold cut of 15% for every operational line item was made at that time. That brought us down to about a 5.4 cent increase. That was still over a 12% increase over the 2011 budget. Mayor Torriello gave us the daunting task of cutting another over $326,000 from the budget to give our municipal taxpayers a zero increase for 2012. I really didn't think that that was going to happen, but it did, so it's a good news to all of the Greenwich taxpayers. In May, our budget process really heated up. I ran the exact figures from the annual financial statement that the auditor had prepared and went with a much less conservative approach to calculating the reserve for uncollected taxes. What that is, that's a non-spending appropriation, and it forces us to raise more in taxes than what we really need to make up for those residents, taxpayers that either don't pay or pay late. So we have to raise more to compensate for those that don't pay. I was able to drop the appropriation because of our wonderful tax collection rate last year. It was a little over 98%, which is stunning for this economy. Originally, the appropriation started out at $625,000. I was able to drop that down to $490,000. So that took $135,000 out of our $326,000 gap. The police overtime budget was capped at $100,000. That saved a little over $26,000. And we were able to increase our receipts from delinquent taxes again because our tax collection rate was so strong in 2011. I was able to increase that by another $25,000. So that brought us to a gap of almost $140,000. We had the resolution tonight that was just passed that canceled balances from completed capital projects that had remaining balances. That was, the value of that was $74,000. That enabled us to cut the appropriation out of the 2012 budget, which was $60,000. So we still needed about $80,000. We did the engineer and myself looked at all sorts of really exciting escrow accounts. Out of the 105, we identified a particular account with a really great name called, what is it, Old Wachovia accounts. And the engineer came up with a theory. It proved out to be true. And we are now able to anticipate a revenue, a found revenue, in our 2012 budget of a little over $93,000. That was all escrow accounts that were refunded out of the current fund in years past, sometimes in excess of 15 years ago, that should have been paid out of the escrow. They never were. The general taxation paid for that, so now we can pay ourselves back. So it's a one-time revenue, but it'll help us get through for 2012. Some of the budgets that were originally cut, such as the emergency squad, the fire company, they were able to be reinstated to almost their 2011 funding level. So hopefully we'll be able to introduce this year's budget at a special meeting next week, which I believe you've set the date of already.
Next Thursday.
And okay, I want the taxpayers to be assured that every effort was made this year to find new revenue sources, to streamline our budget, to provide the same wonderful services that Greenwich taxpayers have gotten used to on a more efficient and economic, cost-efficient manner. So I'll have, hopefully our adoption will be right around June 20th, somewhere in that week. It's got to be 28 days after the date of introduction.
Was that our regular township meeting?
What is this?
June 20th, on or about June 20th, regular
I can
June
tell you
meeting?
right now.
June 21st is our township meeting.
So, okay, so we could do it for the 21st?
Yep.
So this will be public comment and,
The actual public hearing for the
Public
budget
hearing.
and adoption. So at that time, I'll have all sorts of pretty charts and graphs so that even the most simplistic of mindsets will be able to understand everything that's going on in the municipal budget, where the money is spent, where it has been spent, and where the governing body's plans are to spend in the future.
Great.
thank you, Lorraine.
Thank you for that great presentation and great news. Great news for Greenwich.
So when did Bob get back to you to tell you that we could use the?
Just today.
Today?
Yeah. Oh, the only thing that we have to do for that is after the introduction, Mike and I will have to prepare 2 separate certifications to send to the Director of the Division of Local Government Services. They'll have to approve of the insertion of what's called a special item of revenue.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, that answers one question, I can do that after I come back from vacation.
Is there anything else that we need to discuss on the budget?
I'd like to thank Lorraine for, all of the work and the Saturdays that she and I spent here together, and Kim, making sure that we crossed every T and dotted every I. And thank you, Lorraine. And hopefully this will put a lot of things to rest.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you, Lorraine, and you, Elaine, as the finance chair. You both did a remarkable job, really, given I actually didn't realize until tonight. I didn't.
You were at a negative?
No. I knew we were at a negative.
No, a negative.
I didn't realize that we started out at 558, and that is remarkable. That we came from that level of a deficit to getting to a balanced budget without a tax increase, and also I think special thanks needs to go to Mr. Finelli, who pulled the rabbit out of the hat. So I think
Sometimes
that
you
is
get lucky,
yeah.
as they say.
And
I'll tell you though, when we were working and we thought we had it under control at 400,000, and then we found out it was the 100,000 was not in there, that kind of like set me back.
right. So this was really a
Absolutely.
great team effort, and really a great end result that I think that the entire township committee and most importantly Greenwich residents can be proud of. So it's really a great job. And with that, I guess I'll turn it over to you, Elaine, on your items.
Sinkhole remediation on Dory Place. We talked about this at the sewer subcommittee meeting.
Yes.
With relationship to going out to bid or having someone give us estimates on that.
Well, it's not necessarily going out to bid. This might fall under professional services.
Right.
Because that's still to be
because-
determined. I'm
right.
going to have to obviously coordinate with Brent on that.
Right.
But what I am going to do, and what I think needs to be done, is to have the township hire a firm that will do some exploratory analysis of the substrata in the Dory Place area where we have had this flurry of sinkholes over many years. And the relationship, of course, to the sewer is that the trunk line that comes from, well, Dow property, which of course is dry at the moment, but also the elementary school, which of course is not dry.
Right.
And they in essence surround this pipe. So in an effort to protect what is really a very valuable and important utility, and because of the magnitude of the problem as I see it in the area, we've got to take more advanced measures than having the DPW guys go out and throw some concrete in the hole. And then certainly, again, it's not a shot at the DPW guys.
It is not like just a regular sinkhole without any possibility of damaging the sewer line, which is what we have to protect, is the sewer line. And so we discussed it at our sewer subcommittee meeting at length about protecting that sewer main that runs out from the school into Dory Place, on Dory Place there. So that's what we have to do. So we're going to move on that as quickly as possible.
Let me ask Brian a question here. Are you going to do a motion to authorize us to proceed? That because I'm going to formulate the language actually, or I'm going to ask you how we should formulate.
Let me ask you a
language.
question. You mentioned a firm. It's a professional engineering firm?
Yes, it's a geotechnical firm.
Okay.
That's who I think we need to get.
With licensed professionals.
Absolutely.
Right. So that would be, well, no, I want to make sure that because it's a requirement under local public contracts law as an exemption from bidding, that it's a professional service. So that's what you're talking about, that's fine. And also because is being done to protect the sewer, I'm wondering if the funds for this can come from the sewer capital account.
It's not considered maintenance, it's preventative measure.
No, this would not be considered maintenance. It would, yeah. be
Yeah, it
preventive.
spans over.
I imagine that
I mean, that's the reason we're doing it. I mean, it's a direct
That is-
relationship. I don't even look at that as gray, to be honest. It's because of the sewer, we're doing this. If the sewer line wasn't there,
Right.
I would have to say, let the DPW guys keep
Just
pouring
fill
concrete
it
a
in.
hole.
Mhm.
So,
I think that answers the question.
Actually, I didn't let Mike ask me the question. Go ahead.
well, you've in essence answered the question, because I was going to,
I anticipated.
I would have still been talking, but you got right to the point, so very well done. So, no, we're good.
So it's geotechnical, right, Mike?
Yes, it will be a geotechnical firm. See, there is another route to go, but the other route to go would be to put it out to bid, to just hire a drilling company. But you need a geotech to supervise, so the geotech will basically administer and coordinate with the drilling company as they do the exploratory
Okay.
drillings and pressure grouting and whatever else is determined at that time after they do their initial explorations.
Okay. So when do you think we can have those? When do you think we can have those, by the 21st of June? Like, of course, we want to do the
Oh,
one
yeah.
after the school lets out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So by the 21st, we'll have a form of contract from whatever the geotech firm is for the township committee to approve
Well,
execution.
no, I think by the 21st, we will have proposals from geotechnical firms.
Okay.
I'm thinking, I don't know, we're not gonna have enough time to get them for the sewer subcommittee meeting.
Okay.
That wouldn't be fair to
Oh,
them,
okay.
to be honest. That would have been ideal, to have the proposals prior to the sewer subcommittee meeting.
And then they make a
So then we,
recommendation.
as a
Yes.
sewer subcommittee, could make the recommendation to the township committee for action at the 21st meeting, but that's not gonna be fair to them. They're gonna
Okay.
need some time. I gotta put like a mini RFP together, basically. So I'll be coordinating with you.
Mike's also on vacation.
Well, let me ask you this, so that delay
You have that.
isn't added, while the preferred course of action would be to have the sewer subcommittee, digest this and make a recommendation. Could the 21st, could we just have it come directly to the township committee?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking we
Yeah,
could do.
yeah.
And of course, we'll
Let's do that.
make sure we get the proposals a number of days, if not a week, before the 21st meeting. Obviously, Joe Pryor, who's of course never
Right.
here, and all of us will have a chance to look at it. And all of the firms will be competent and qualified, so it's probably
We have
going
no
to come
doubt,
down
right.
to,
And licensed.
it's probably going to be coming down, and licensed, of course, come down to price, even though it's professional services and technically wouldn't have to be, but we'll,
But it should be.
yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense, good.
So what you want is a motion to authorize you to put together a request for proposals for professional services for a geotechnical firm?
Right, for exploratory analysis in the Dory Place sinkhole field area.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Comment? Roll call?
Siegel?
Yes.
Miliani?
Yes.
Toriello?
Yes.
What we have discovered while we were working through the budget this year, we have been able to utilize the services of Edmunds online payments for sewer and taxes, and it'll be beginning in June 2012. Residents will be sent an advertisement by either way on the internet or something in their sewer bill or something in their tax bill that will allow the residents to pay their taxes and so forth online with our Edmunds service that we've had in the township.
Maybe we can have Dave put something on the
We
website
did,
too.
yeah, on the website, and we'll try and utilize other alternative methods of getting the word out, like in the bills and stuff. I think that was a big plus. That is a big plus for us, because then the online payments will start to dribble in, but they'll be automatically put into the system, and they'll be automatically captured, and they will automatically give us that data. So that cost to the township was $600 per service, one for the sewer, one for the taxes. And I think that residents will start to look at that as an opportunity, instead of dropping it in the mail, to actually go online and actually make the payments online. And they can also read what their history has been. They'll be able to utilize it for any renegotiations of mortgages. A lot of the banks will be able to go on and take a look at the lot and block that their bank represents. What was existing in our system that we found is that the banks have typically sent checks when actually they can download things and put it into our account, and all we do is capture the data. That's been going on for quite a while, but there is a easier way to have that done, and we've been able to capture that information, and we're going to be doing this online shortly. Anything else on that, Lorraine, that I might have missed?
No, I haven't had an update.
We had the letter. We have the letter in from somebody sent you a letter with regards to this, and you mentioned it to me in passing that it was something of approval. Was it from? It's got to go to state approval.
It's all through, I did the W-9. I sent that to them, all of that, so it's just a matter of them implementing it into the system. I mean, we're good to go.
On our end, where they have to go actually for some kind of federal approval through a clearinghouse to authorize us for loan.
Right, but Edmonds does this in other towns, and everything should be fine, and we'll be looking for that in the next couple of weeks. Second reading, public hearing.
Is this for the
expenditures for
expenditure?
the Affordable Housing Trust.
I'll make a motion to open up for public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone wishing to make public comment on our ordinance 2012-10, which is for committing expenditures for certain affordable housing trust funds? Seeing no hands, a motion to close.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. And the second reading on ordinance.
Motion to adopt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a motion to adopt?
Second.
Comment, roll call.
Siegel. Miliani.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
And there's the second reading of ordinance 2012-06, the renewable energy ordinance.
I'll make a motion to open up for public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2012-06, renewable energy ordinance, please come up. Seeing no hands, motion to close.
Make the motion.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Is there a motion to adopt?
Make the motion.
I'll second it. Comment? Roll call.
Siegel.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Torriello.
Yes.
I think that's it for my section of the.
Okay. Tammy?
Well, big agenda item for the night, Memorial Day parade up there. We've had planning meetings. Of course, the parade is on Monday, May 28th, which is Memorial Day. Lineup is at 9:30 at Stewart Way, and then everything begins at 10:30. So the lineup's at 9:30, everything begins at 10 o'clock. So everything's in order and ready to go.
Okay. Thank you. Michael?
I just said-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Zoe and Tom's kids to hold in the banner?
I haven't had a chance
Okay.
to, I'll ask her. I'm sure she'll do it. I volunteer. I volunteer the two of them. How's that?
You mean the Township Committee banner? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure.
Nice picture in the paper.
What's that?
Nice picture in the paper.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, that's fine.
Anything? Sure.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately. All right. Do you want me to give you the Bob Hillier update?
Yeah, but
Okay.
well, yeah, I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna almost interject when you were talking about the coal funds. Bottom line is, he hasn't really done much. I did speak with him this afternoon. He hasn't done a lot. He's the specialty architect that's looking at the old school regarding potential conversion to COA units. He apologized, was very nice, is flying to Atlanta apparently this weekend for whatever reason, doesn't matter, but he promised me that he would spend some time on the plane, working on some sketches, and would call me up at the beginning of next week. So, and with what he thinks he will be able to offer to the township. So,
Okay, so it's not for a lack of interest, it was just that he was busy.
Oh, no, exactly that. It's absolutely not to a lack of interest.
Okay.
He said, in fact, he's like, I thought about this a lot, but I've been really busy and so on and so forth. So that's the Hillier update. Another item that's not in my report, but just so I don't forget about it, and this really has been more Dan's item, and obviously he's not here tonight. Dan has brought up the runoff impacts onto the Vicky Little property. Okay, and I talked to the wrong farmer. Well, I talked to the right farmer, to Cliff Oberly Jr., who was nice as pie about the whole thing, knew exactly what I was referring to, and he was going to go out there to get it fixed so that she would not see any further impacts from his farming operation.
Did he give you a time period as to when he might have it completed so you could do a follow-up?
He led me to believe, it sounded like he was going to have to probably hire somebody with a little bit of a different piece of equipment than a typical farmer has. Because he thinks, and I think, he's probably got to build up a little bit of a berm and maybe dig a little diversion channel. That's what I suggested. So he said this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said, I think I can get Chip. He was talking about Chip Pfeiffer. I think I can get Chip Pfeiffer out there this weekend, and we can do the blah blah. I said, okay, great.
Great.
But very accommodating, understood the situation, so that hopefully is put to bed.
Good.
And you probably talk to Dan more than I do, I suspect, right, Kim?
Right.
Or who talks to Dan?
I'll talk to them.
You want to just, if you think of it, just relate it. I talked to Cliff, and it's going to get fixed. So if he
Okay.
talks to Mrs. Little.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All right, to my report. Obviously, Boulder Excavating is going to be out there shortly to finish up the final items on the old DOT grant so we can get that project closed out. And that as well, hopefully, will be, we'll get that grant monies this year. We should definitely get the grant monies this year. We're hoping that he starts within the next couple of weeks. Most of these are obviously repeat. Talked sinkholes already. That's actually an executive session item as far as the open space discussion if we need to talk about it. Well, rumble strips is another Dan item. Okay, Elizabethtown gas. It's probably maybe the last item to discuss. You've heard me talk, and we've talked for months now about this gas main that's going to be installed by Elizabethtown from Franklin Township through Greenwich into Powhatan. And I've been, I guess, kind of the point person with Elizabethtown, which is fine. They sent me proposed easement agreements for easements which will be temporary, of course, on township property. So I made copies, one set to give to Kim, one set to give to Brent. Pretty much standard operating procedure, but they do need, as in fact I saw Mr. Adams is in the audience, he's already dealt with this. I was just going to say there's a lot of private property owners that have already dealt with Elizabethtown on easements that they have to secure on private property. This happens to be township property. So this is no action, just FYI, these documents have arrived, I'll pass them off tonight, and Elizabethtown would like us to move forward on this. So that's that. And that really would be it.
So there's no action that needs to be taken?
No,
for this
no,
agenda?
because Brent needs to look at the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I would, Brent, you don't want to agree to do it, do you?
No.
Okay.
I have no idea what the document says.
You were copied on the May 16th letter regarding the Transportation Enhancement Program. Did you see this yet, this letter?
I was in Pennsylvania today.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, then.
Well, we could probably have this conversation, or can you just give Mike a copy of that? I just want to know if that's a matter for you to handle, or whether we need to do anything on that.
Well, I can tell you already, because I know this letter. Well, I'll say this. In answer to your question, if anybody's going to handle it, it would be me.
That's what I thought.
The question becomes, we have, not in Greenwich, but we have made application and secured this grant in other towns. Now, it has to be a transportation enhancement. Now, that typically relates to bikeways and walkways. This is not the DOT road resurfacing kind of grant.
Understood.
And this is a federally funded program, but it is administered through the DOT. When is it due? Okay, applications are due on or before July 17th. How about this? Since we have 2 months still. When's the July meeting?
It's canceled. We were going
Not
to
finished. We're going to cancel this too?
The township meeting, yeah.
No.
We were thinking of
We were
canceling
thinking
July.
about it.
Yeah. All right.
We
Clerk's gonna
should
be 50
still
on
have a
that day.
no, we should still have a special meeting earlier in the month to approve bills.
So we can do that then.
Okay, well then let's
I saw that one.
ignore the July meeting question. How about we do this? How about we take a look at this? I mean, obviously, we know the township pretty well. Let me present to you next month whether I think we have a good candidate or not.
That's, yeah, that's we're not going to waste time.
No,
and energy,
well, I'll
right.
spend a little bit of time, but very little. Because there are specific requirements to this particular program that what you might think is a good candidate might not be.
Okay.
And if anybody has any brainstorms, hey, I'm all ears. And then I'll just present next month whether or not we think we have any or not. And
Great.
you guys can make the decision at that point to authorize me to put the grant together if you like, or not.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sure I have that at home.
Yeah.
It's like,
Brent,
Yes. Oh, okay.
you're up, sir.
I guess I'm under my agenda items here. One is a motion to authorize the receipt and advertisement of bids for the repair of the Straw Church Village pumping station. And,
I was going to leave that.
okay, and Mike, you're probably better versed in explaining what the repair is for the pump station. You may recall that the Township Committee authorized the use of the shared services agreement with the school board for the qualified purchasing agent to go out for a request for proposals, which was done. Unfortunately, no responses were received. So in light of that, the sewer subcommittee is recommending that we just go out to bid ourselves as a public bid. But if any clarification needs to be made as to what the potential repairs would be, Mike could answer those questions. So if there are no questions for Mike, I would just request that there's a motion to authorize the receipt and advertisement of bids for the repair of the Straw Church Village pumping station.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call?
Siegel?
Yes.
Miliani? Yes. Coriello?
Yes.
The second motion that you see on the agenda, which is a motion to deposit funds received from Automotive Financial Services, I'd like to hold that motion until after we have an executive session meeting, because this was a settlement offer. You may recall that earlier in the year, the Township Committee had a motion to withhold those funds, and I would just like to discuss that in closed session with the Township Committee before they consider it.
Okay.
That brings us to a second reading public hearing on ordinance 2012-7, which is an ordinance prohibiting commercial motor vehicles having a registered gross vehicle weight in excess of 4 tons on Dumont Road between Warren County Route 519 and US Route 22, with the exception that said weight restrictions shall be suspended for commercial motor vehicles making pickups, deliveries, or of goods or materials or providing services to local residents and businesses on Dumont Road. I always like short titles.
Yeah, well, it says it all, so here you go.
So you would need a motion to open.
A motion open for public comment?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone wishing to make public comment on ordinance number 2012-7, please come up. Seeing no hands, a motion to close.
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
I'd like to also note that prior to this evening, the township clerk did give notice to the county of Warren with respect to this ordinance, and with respect to the next ordinance, ordinance 2012-08, she also gave notice to the county as well as Lopatcon Township. And we need a motion to adopt.
I'll make that motion.
This is a motion to adopt ordinance 2012-07.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call?
Siegel.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Trailer.
Yes.
Okay. The second ordinance on, for second reading, public hearing is ordinance 2012-08, which is an ordinance prohibiting commercial motor vehicles having a registered gross vehicle weight in excess of 4 tons on Strikers Road between the bridge over Lopatcon Creek and Warren County Route 519, with the exception that said weight restriction shall be suspended for commercial motor vehicles making pickups, deliveries of goods or materials, or providing services to local businesses on the portion of Strikers Road situated between the bridge over Lopatcon Creek and Warren County Route 519.
A motion to open for public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Comment? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone wishing to make public comment on ordinance 2012-08, please come up.
Just a question. Does it include signage?
The signage is on the maps that go. Sorry to interject.
Seeing no hands, motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2012-08.
Second.
Comment? Roll call?
Siegel.
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
Trailer.
Yes.
I'd like to note on both of these ordinances that were just adopted by the Township Committee, the next step is they both must be submitted to the Commissioner of the Department of Transportation. They do not become effective unless the Department of Transportation approves these ordinances.
How long do you have to wait for that?
Well, the statute, which is NJSA 39:4-8, states that they're to be submitted to the Commissioner within 30 days of adoption, and I believe that the Commissioner has 90 days. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a second reading public hearing for ordinance 2012-09. This is an ordinance amending the uniform requirements for the discharge into the township's wastewater collection system as provided in Chapter 21 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Greenwich, New Jersey. In essence, in the end of last year, the town of Phillipsburg adopted an ordinance, and pursuant to our intermunicipal sewer agreement with the town of Phillipsburg, we're required to mirror that ordinance, which is what this does.
Motion to open for public hearing?
Make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2012-09, please come up. Seeing no hands, motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2012-09?
Motion.
Second.
Comment? Roll call?
Siegel.
Yes.
Miliani. Yes. Trailer.
Yes. Before we move to item 15, Brent, I had walked over to you, and the Township Committee was copied on a May 1st letter from Mike Esposito requesting certain property tax relief. And I think I would request that you take a look at that
Okay,
and then maybe get back to us at the next meeting.
okay.
I'm concerned about the monies.
I'm sorry.
I'm concerned about, it's one thing about the township, but it's also another thing about the school and the county and library taxes that have already been paid that we're not considered refunded.
And also a retrospective.
So
versus
tell us if there's,
prospective.
you know.
Okay, I will,
Considerations for
provide this to Andrew Brewer in our office, who's
Okay.
handling the tax matters for the town.
Makes sense. Yeah, and then one final item. Tonight we were presented with two proposals to fix the air conditioning here in this room, and I'm going to request that we defer this to the next meeting because one of the contractors who submitted a bid is not only a neighbor of mine, but he installed a new HVAC system in my house. So just to be, fully transparent and to avoid any appearance, I need to recuse myself on this issue. I feel I should recuse myself on this, and we don't have a quorum, so.
So if we vote on it.
No, that's okay, because you still have a vote of majority of the quorum.
Oh, I see,
Present.
so it's two, oh, okay, well then I'll just recuse myself. All right, you're right, I see, math is just not my, but okay, I got it. So with that, I'll recuse myself and I'll let
I'll make a
the two
motion.
committee women standing can
Make
address
a motion
this.
for Lou Fasano Heating and Cooling in the amount of $12,400 to warranties on the compressor, parts, years of labor, and a maintenance plan.
Second.
Discussion?
Roll call.
Seagull,
Yes.
Miliani.
Yes.
All right, well,
If we have it done before the 24th of May.
Okay, so there you go, so with that, is there, can I have a motion to open up for a second public comment?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to make public comment, please step forward.
Gary, can you turn that mic on, please?
Okay. Gary Hill, Greenwich Township OEM. Actually, I'm going to wear a couple hats while I'm up here. Make it quick. Real quick, regarding the air conditioning in this room, what about election June 5th? Kim, is that going to get moved over to the firehouse?
No, it's gonna be in here.
It's going to be really hot in here.
It's gonna, no, we just approved. I just have
I
to get
thought you
that.
just tabled it.
no.
They just
No,
approved
word
it.
it.
No,
That's
the
why
mayor,
it's
the
for tonight.
mayor
okay.
recused himself.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be
So
fixed
it's been
item?
awarded, so
Okay.
I will be in contact with the contractor
Okay.
after the meeting.
I'll start with Brayden, okay.
So it should be okay for the primary.
Okay,
That was my
good.
concern.
Regarding the budget issues, the squad budget, any idea what kind of percentage? You were saying that it was 15% and then another 10%, or, that it was close to 2011?
No, it was rounded up.
It wasn't 15 and another 10.
35, I think it is, Gary. I think we gave you 37, I think it's 35 this year.
Okay.
Am I right, Maria?
I'm looking right now.
35, page 6. Page 6, 35. First aid and other expenses, 35.
Okay, thank you. One other quick item. The 93,000 that was found in the, when Lorraine was giving her proposal, was that $100,000 that was kind of bouncing around between accounts that we couldn't account for, as it belonged to, or is that still a possibility that that $100,000 still exists, that they can't account for, don't know who it belongs to? Or a possibility that's still,
The one from 2010 that wasn't recorded in the audit report that Bob Morrison found on the audit report.
Yeah, that was an interfund that just wasn't physically transferred. It was recorded one way on the audit, but.
Never recorded.
so it's spoken for, it's not like it can be
Right,
Exactly.
it's not,
extra
it wasn't
revenue all of a
found
sudden.
money.
Okay, all right. Okay. It's kind of followed me a little bit. Okay, real quick, I'm not sure, I gave Mr. Kalari an agenda item, but he wasn't able to make it tonight, so I wasn't sure if it was passed on to the rest of the committee members. We submitted through Greenwich Township to Warren County OEM for a CERT trailer, a Community Emergency Response Team trailer. This is a free trailer that's provided to the state OEM. They have surplus of trailers that they supplied to certain areas within the state. I submitted to the county submitted it before theirs, giving us priority. It hasn't been awarded yet, but it's something that's been, application's been submitted for.
Has there been any discussion about where it's going to go?
It would be housed on municipal property with our other trailers that we have here.
Why? There was no discussion about where it would be. We haven't even discussed this. So an application for a trailer was put in. We don't know where it's going to go. It's got to go on municipal property, but we don't know where yet.
Correct.
That should have been something we should have had a discussion
Beforehand.
Okay.
We need to have a discussion first to figure out where it's situated. That's something that can't speak for the township.
Okay. That also goes with the other application for the generator grant. That was withdrawn due to a lack of communication within the township. That's withdrawn because it looked like there was going to be a chance for there to be funding. That was going to have to be supplied by the township. I withdrew. Elaine expressed a concern that, we have no money, and there was a chance that there was going to be expenditures on that, so that was withdrawn.
Oh, okay. What were the expenditures?
It was going to cost us a lot more money. The grant was only for $15,000.
Okay.
The generator itself was going to be $18,000. We were going to have to come up with in-kind plus installment, another $8,000. There was a chance that it was going to be a considerable cost to the township.
Yeah, because I don't remember ever reviewing that, but I was concerned about the budget when you brought that up. Yes, I do.
What I was hoping for was that the infrastructure refunding that we were going to be getting from FEMA was going to help offset that. But you expressed an interest that that wasn't going to be possible, so, because that was money, as you put, was spent and needed to be recouped. So that
Money that was spent out of the general budget, out of the general funds that we need to replenish. Yes.
Now, on that, if it wasn't for the fact of the countless and aggressive hours of work and damage reports by our own OEM, Warren County OEM, all of the neighboring townships and the state, there would not have been a disaster declaration approved for the 3 disasters that were handled. As a result, with having so many people involved, CERT, fire, police, volunteer-wise, SWAT, we got a lot of people that are volunteering for this community to make sure that we're prepared for emergencies.